everybody, Dylan here, and welcome to the Raw review for January 27th, 2025. The show that had the craziest crowd ever, that crowd being in Atlanta, Georgia. They got like crazy shots of the stadium at the beginning. That's right, I'm going straight into the review. And then after that, it shows like Cody arriving, giving that little pop. Women's Tag Team Champions. The Judgement Days, Liv and Raquel. Sami and Drew. And they talk about their matches for the night, which honestly, it's a pretty packed card just from matches alone. And, Cody doing a promo, whatever that may be. They then show the State Farm Arena as Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are on commentary for the Go Home Raw for the Royal Rumble. They plug the Royal Rumble coming up and give a verbal recap of Saturday night's main event, which, by the way, I did watch that. It will be up here eventually, even if my mic drops. It's just not going to be up right now. Sicknesses are a bitch. Same for all the reviews I missed. Just give me time. It'll be up. Everything will be up. The show starts officially with Seth freaking Rollins coming to the ring. Since Raw's gone to Netflix, it kind of feels, honestly, like a little stale. I ain't gonna lie to you. But maybe this is what they needed just to bring the hype back, even if it was just for a night. Alright, so back to the actual review. Seth does his whole, welcoming shtick. And he's got some sick-ass lavender gear on tonight, to be honest. The sunglasses kind of killed it. Made it look dope. I liked it. And you know what? As I was going through this, my only thought was they need a Mania here, honestly. Well, I mean, minus WrestleMania 28, or 27, but we don't talk about that one. Despite it being the first WrestleMania I watched live, we don't talk about that one. Alright, anyways, he cuts a promo saying that he's going to win the Rumble, and he talks about how he lost on the debut of Raw and how that made him think about who he is. As he's talking, the crowd starts to chant CM Punk, and he plays him off. He then says he will tell you who he is. He is Seth freaking Rollins, and when he's the focused version of himself, nobody is better than him. He said last week was the start of his redemption when he beat Drew, and at the Rumble he'll toss out everybody, and he goes down like a list of names. He pauses at Roman's name. Don't know why I stumbled there. He pauses at Roman's name as the crowd chants OTC, and he says that he's especially tossing Reigns' ass out. He then talks about how he hopes Punk is the last guy in the ring with him so that he can toss him over the ropes and crush his dreams personally. He then goes down the list of champs currently and does a little swerve when he talks about maybe he'll go after Cody instead of the title he already made. He turns a little bit heel when he talks about beating Cody, and then he asks the crowd who he should face. Should he face Cody, or should he face, and as he does that, Gunther's music cuts him off. Seth thanks Gunther for keeping his title warm, and Gunther retorts by asking him where has he been. He says that he went after the clown Jey Uso and beat his ass. He also says that if it was him, he would cancel all the noise out and focus on winning the Royal Rumble, even though he's not sure Seth has it in him anymore. Seth then says, with all due respect, he made that title and he's better than any challengers that Gunther has had during this reign. Gunther says that it's 2025 and Seth is not the best anymore. He then begs him to win the Royal Rumble and square off with him at the Rumble so he can make him feel as everyone else has felt that has faulted him. Unfortunately, a great night was ruined right off the bat with the Paul brother returning. Everyone boos him. I really don't care what he says, so I'm not even going to quote it. Long story short, he said something like he was going to go to the Rumble. I don't know. I really don't care what he said. Mike Tyson's better than him and his brother. Anyway, Gunther says he changed his mind after his promo that he wants to smack that stupid smirk off of his face instead and embarrass him, which honestly I popped pretty loud for. Seth then says he agrees, except the only person that would be embarrassed is Gunther when he loses the title. He drops the mic, they cue his music, and that segment's over with. God, I wish Paul Brothers' career was over with. Punk then is interviewed. He starts talking about the Royal Rumble, and as he does, Sami comes up to ask him about the comments made last week about him and reminds him that, unlike Punk, he's main event in Mania. They go off the shot of that. I guess interview's over with. And as he's walking backstage, he runs into Karrion Kross. And Kross is kind of like the devil on his shoulders, so tell him like, hey, don't listen to me, listen to your friends. If you don't, that there's a world of opportunity at his feet, and all he has to do is quit helping others and then focus on himself. Cody comes in a shot to say hi real quick, and Sami kind of like brushes him off. We then see JD and the War Raiders getting ready for their matchup next, which happens after a brief like celebrity superstar show off moment. I hate these segments so much. During the match, JD does this moonsault. God, he snaps his neck real hard off the announce table. I don't know how the hell he didn't like actually hurt himself for real. Well, I presume he hasn't. I haven't checked today's news, but damn. Anyway, he distracts the ref later on in the match. Carlito helps him by spitting the apple in like Ivar's face. But alas, it only got them a 2 count. Yeah, like I said, just awesome tag team match all around where both teams left everything out there. At the end, the War Raiders win with the War Machine. I think that's what they call that move. After that, Pete Dunne's backstage, and Giovanni talks to him. As they were talking, though, the New Day cut him off, and then they just walk away from the New Day. The New Day get an interview where they say that Atlanta's favorite son is here, and Kathy Kelly calls out everybody who is not Xavier Woods, basically. And then Xavier cuts a promo on how he's going to win against Rey Mysterio later on tonight with his family watching, even though they haven't arrived yet. But, you know, he knows they're going to be there because those tickets were expensive or something like that. Then we get that match with Rey versus Xavier. With the LWO in Rey's corner, that would be a twist. And then the Woods family throughout the match shows up in the crowd, and turns out they undo their jackets, and they all have a New Day Sucks shirt on, and that got a big pop for me. And I think like his sister or somebody in his family just throws a shirt at him. That distracts him. He gets back in the ring. Rey hits a 619 on and drops the dime on him to win. Commentary then wraps up that segment, and then we see a highlight of Drew versus Seth Rollins from last week. Then we have Sami and Seth talk backstage, being like, hey, dude, are we alright? And then after a long awkward pause, Seth is like, yeah, we're alright, but if it happens again, I know it's not an accident, basically. Paraphrasing a little bit, but that's basically what happened. I wrote down, I bet you he will kick him during the Rumble. And I still stick by that. I bet you he's going to kick him. They plugged the Rumble for a bit, then we get Jey Uso coming out with Migos. Shout out Migos. Shout out Quavo, shout out everybody. You know how dope that is to see, by the way. Like, Jay is so over, and he's got aura around him, plus he hangs out with people who have aura around them. It's such a sick event. After like the 10 minutes it takes to get to the ring from just yeeting everywhere, he tells the crowd that he thanks them, yeet, rides with them, yeet, and that him and Quavo rides with us, yeet. He then talks about his loss Saturday, but he knows he could beat Gunter. He talks about how he's going to win the Rumble and become the champ at Mania, and he better win this year. I'll be so happy if he wins this year. There are so many contenders that should win, or at least should have a title shot at this Mania. They keep on plugging as like a star-stacked Rumble, but honestly it is. There's so many opportunities they could go down this year. I'm excited to see it. I don't know about y'all. So after the ad, Jackie is backstage with Lyra, where she reveals that she's declaring for the Rumble and that she's got an open challenge for her IC title. American Made interrupt her, where Gable says that she, being Ivy, is going to take that Intercontinental title for him. The team. Lyra says that this is the closest that she or him will ever get to that title. Ivy then shows some personality and spark and says that she will throw her over at the Rumble. Good old AM is walking backstage, and they run into AA doing something on TikTok. I don't know what they were doing. They get into like a little verbal confrontation that ends with Ivy calling Maxine Twinkle Toes. We then get Liv and Raquel against the women's tag team champions Naomi and Bianca, where thanks to Dom distracting the ref, the Judgment Day pick up the W. There's like a reported push for Liv and Raquel as tag team champions, and you know what? I'm fine for that. They kind of killed it last time they had the title, so why not? We then have an interview with Rhea about her successful win Saturday. Then she's asked about the Rumble she says whoever decides to face her will lose at Mania. Bayley comes in going, ding dong, hello. And then she plays her shot basically at Rhea. Her and Io have a stare down afterwards where Io says she will see her at Saturday. And God, I need that rematch so bad. I hope they have a rematch for the title this year. You know how poetic that would be? Even if it's a different... Wait, pause. Would it be a different title? No, because Bayley brought... Wait, let's rewind a little bit. Let's rewind. So, Rhea's the champ now, after beating and losing and beating and losing and beating and losing. No, this has been Rhea's title since the beginning. Io's title was on SmackDown. Okay, cool. I do remember, like, not even a year ago's history. Dope. They plug future events, and after ad, we have WrestleMania flashback of Michael Cole trying to fight King at Mania, where Pat McAfee just roasts him and tells him how terrible he was, and they give him shit for missing a high five on Dap on Migos earlier today. Or, sorry, on Quavo. I keep on having Migos stuck in my head. I don't know why. But anyway, he tried to give him Dap earlier today. Didn't work out. Then we get a Penta Hype promo. Somewhere throughout the show, he ended up running into Braun Breaker, by the way. I didn't see that, so I didn't write that down. But he does the Zero Miedo thing in front of Breaker, basically saying he's going to challenge him for that IC title. And he also declared for the Rumble during this promo. After they plug this weekend's events, Paul Heyman comes out and announces the cover of 2K25, which there will be a news video eventually posted for the week 2 and 3. It looks exactly like the leaked one. If you know, you know. After that, he does a promo on the Rumble, how big of a star Reigns is. He hypes up Roman and goes to leave. But Drew comes out and says he just wants to talk to Paul, which, by the way, is Cap. He told him to listen for once, don't respond, and that he's responsible for the Bloodline success and everybody... Actually, no, he does this kind of anonymously. He says that he's responsible for his success. And if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have all of this. And he just wants a thank you from Drew sent to him. And he just wants a thank you from Paul. Paul thanks him and gives him credit, says that he's standing too close to him right now. Drew sarcastically apologizes and said since he did him a favor by backing up, do Drew a favor and pass on the message for him that he will win the Rumble and beat his ass. He says he'll pass it on to Roman, and Drew says that's not what he meant. He meant to Punk. Drew lets Paul go, and I swear he was about to Claymore kick him from behind. I swear if Paul could take more bumps than he can, he 1,000% would have. Alright, anyways, that transitions to Drew versus Sami, which technically was the last match of the night. That ends up ending where Sami almost hits Drew with a haluva kick, but Drew ducks. He ends up roping himself on the top rope. Drew rolls him up while putting his feet on the ropes. Sami tries to plead his case to the official, and as he does, Drew sneak attacks him from behind. He beats him down until Cody comes out to save him. He hits the, ducks a clothesline, hits a top rope stunner, and he's kind of just standing there for a second until Kevin comes out and attacks him down. Him and Drew team up on Cody until Sami tries to kick Drew in the corner, but he ends up missing Drew and ends up kicking Cody in the face instead. As he's just staring at him, Kevin pats him on the chest and walks away. Drew's already left. And then it plugs the end of the show or whatever. They get the Georgia thing. I don't know how else to describe it, but if you have content in Canada, for example, it has to have X amount of Canadian propaganda in it. So that's like that, but Georgia. Anyway, after that, we get a teaser trailer for 2K25. Then Cody cuts a promo on what makes you a champion, and he's looking forward to move past Kevin Owens this weekend. Punk then cuts him off, and yes, I need this to be a long feud. Work this in for a year and a half. Don't just make this a Mania thing. Make this a end of the career feud. He says something to him privately before he grabs the mic and asks him if he's alright. Seems like all of this has been getting to him. He talks about how he got burned out and lost friends during his historic 400-something day title reign. And Cody says that Punk is his friend, right? After a long, awkward pause, Punk is like, yes, I am. He wouldn't be here if he wasn't. He's always going to be his friend, and he loves him. And honestly, these paraphrasings make it sound like the shittiest promo ever, but if you actually watch it, like, this is a beautiful promo. This is honestly the thing to take out of the show. So, after a little bit of a lecture, Cody just asks him point blank, because he says he knows what's for him next. Cody laughs at him and then says, what's in his future? Punk talks about short-term what's next, hypes up how his next match and what it means to him, and that he gets to go home to sleep tonight, and that he has a match at the Rumble, and he's going to win it, and all this stuff. And then he says, after 30 minutes, he says, well, that's the good news. Cody laughs that off and then begs him for the bad news. And then Punk says, well, the bad news is that it's going to be him. As soon as he says that, the crowd pops, I pop, everybody pops. Cody talks about how everybody used to be chasing after Punk back in the day, but now Punk is chasing after Cody, and he hopes that he can win the Rumble so he can finally catch up. He goes to leave, but Punk says, I'm not finished yet. He then says that people wanted him to catch up for years until he did. And then he goes to leave, and Cody says he's not finished yet. He pulls him back. And then he says he wants him to win so he can know that the best in the world isn't the best in the world anymore. They stare down to end the show as Punk says some words to his face. And honestly, best promo segment I've seen in a while. Freaking 10 out of 10 stars. I love it. I hope everybody else loved it as much as I do. I haven't really watched anybody else's opinion on the show yet. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. The review's over with. This is clearly recorded on a different day because I sound different. TLDR, sickness came around for round 2, and we're just now starting January, so we gotta love that. Put me behind a little bit on schedule, so all these episodes that should be uploaded will be uploaded on their day. Wednesdays will be Dynamite. Thursdays will be whatever that Dynamite is review. So this Thursday will be the 30th review. And today is Wednesday. I know Raw's coming out, but I'm also going to try to upload Dynamite. This Saturday I should upload Saturday Night Live's main event for 2025. I also figured out on Peacock that I can watch past episodes of premium live events. They did take down all the Raw and SmackDown, so those reviews will not be uploaded on here for a while. But good news is, I can at least somewhat attempt to clear off the 2024 PLEs that I didn't watch. So starting this Saturday, we're going to get Saturday Night Live's main event for 2025 and 2024. Also, on top of everything, maybe later on today, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to break down the final little tidbit of WWE 2K25 that they've given us, unless we get some more teaser stuff throughout the way. So, if you want to hear that, just tune into the channel. We got sprinkles of a bunch of wrestling stuff. And then eventually there's going to be news over here again. You know the shebang. Anyway, thanks for watching.